You dare disturb me in my grief? I said no interruptions. You will pay for it. Wait. My servants? I know you! You are one of Master Li's students. You were the one who killed my son, Gao. Damn you, school! My Gao was never good enough for Master Li. You were always his prize pupil. Now my son is gone. Gao may be gone, but I will avenge you. I know the styles your broken old master taught you. And I know how to beat you. I promise your death will be both slow and...
Leaping Spirit Beat! Leaping Tiger! Spirit Beat! Leaping Tiger! Spirit Beat! Focus! You aren't equal to me! Leaping Tiger!
Dead already. Damn it all. I wanted nothing more than to watch this man die. After I left you, I stumbled across some very interesting documents. Perhaps I spent too long poring over them, but I couldn't resist. Let me explain why I'm here. That should clarify things. You saw with your own eyes that these pirates were collecting slaves, right? Gao's slaving operation found its way to my home several years ago. I was away at the time, but my daughter was there. Those black-hearted bastards took my daughter, Pin Mei. They killed her for resisting them. She was my only child. I lost her mother when Pin Mei was born, but my daughter was something precious in return. The slavers offered no such consolation. I am many things, but broken is not one of them. The past few years have forged my grief into resolve. My search led me here, to the lair of Gao the Greater. His men took my daughter, and I meant to even the score. On my way up here, I stumbled across records that show that this goes beyond Gao. The Lotus Assassins are his primary buyers. Is that so? There can be no doubt, then. This goes beyond Gao the Greater. I have my vengeance, but how many others have suffered as I have because of the Lotus Assassins? Do you mean to go further with this? I would join you. Only a fool would oppose the Lotus Assassins, but two fools working together stand a better chance than one. Consider how our skills complement each other. I can get into places people would prefer I never see, and out of places people would prefer I never leave. There's also my knack for finding things. For instance, I was nosing around and stumbled across this.
Hey, that's the dust inductor I was hiding. The dragonfly can't fly without it. It was under the floorboards in my workshop last I looked. Well, next time I hide something, I'm packing explosives around it. Yes, explosives shaped like silver bananas. Stops thieves, monkeys, and monkey thieves in one fell swoop. Yeah.
In my mind, you stand the best chance of facing down Gao's masters. We also have a far greater chance of succeeding together rather than apart. If you are planning to take on the servants of Death's Hand, you'll need all the help you can get. Only if I can watch you as well. Fair is fair, after all. I assure you I will be as devoted and capable as any of your other companions.
Ha! If I could harness all that hot air, I could make a furnace to power the whole of the Imperial City. Well, if you're done with all the talking, I have to go make the dragonfly ready for some flying.
That's much better. Ho!
What? What do you want? I remember one time I was hired by two warring clans. They were going to discuss a peace treaty, and they wanted me to make sure things didn't get out of hand. A bunch of fights broke out in the first few days, but after I'd killed a few dozen of their clansmen, they settled down. That's when things got boring. The leaders took the next 3 days to talk, and if they hadn't let me dip into their wine stocks, I might have snapped sooner than I did. The clan leaders were agreed on peace except for one thing, Jinlo, a beautiful clanswoman. Both leaders wanted her and neither would give her up. After 5 days, it looked like the peace would fall apart. It looked like the two leaders were about to come to blows over Jinlo, so I stepped in. It was my job to stop them from fighting, so I cleaved the wench in two and told them each to take a half. Seemed like a good idea at the time. They weren't too happy with my decision. Everyone turned on me. Of course, they all died, but they gave it a good effort. I don't know what they were so upset about. Better a quick death by the sword than the prolonged agony of your heart being ripped from your chest and thrown to the dogs. What do you want from me? I'm here to kill things. You want answers? Ask someone else.
Hey! Ha ha! Much kicking and such. It really gets the blood flowing. And explosions. Lots of blood flowing from those too. I replaced the dust inductor. The marvelous dragonfly will cross the sky at your whim for a short way. The heavens welcome my machines, but not without considerable cajoling. If you want to fly more than a short distance, I will need an inscrutable power source. Oh, the assassins have an inscrutable power source. In fact, they had two. One was here, and they planned to put it in the dragonfly. But Kang was fast and smart. Kang exploded the power source. That way, they couldn't take my beautiful dragonfly and fly away without me. I don't know. There was one here for the dragonfly, until I blew it up. That was the only way to keep Inquisitor Lim from taking my dragonfly to the Imperial City. I know the assassins have another one. They were using it for blasting an excavation. Lim once said something about ruins. If you're looking for the inscrutable power source, I'd find some ruins that also have assassins in them. Now we should leave here. We can make it as far as that nearby town, Tien's Landing. I know the winds between here and there. Mostly. I mostly know the winds. It will be fine. Don't worry about that. When the marvelous dragonfly takes off, the earth shakes and the sky trembles. You can't miss it. Your friend will see us take off, and he'll head back to town on his own. But you need my help. The dragonfly is truly marvelous, but I'm sure you're going to take her into combat. She'll be injured, and you'll need someone to fix her. And of course, when you get the inscrutable power source, someone has to actually put it in the dragonfly. Nobody else can do it. Oh, I will. I promise. I just want to take care of your marvelous dragonfly. I'll stay here with the flyer. I'll keep her warm, so she'll be ready when you want to fly us back to town.
We should get back to town and be on our way.
Are you ready to go back to Tien's Landing now? I know a nice, safe landing place just outside of town. Very unlikely we'll crash. Very unlikely. Ha ha! Everybody on board! The marvelous dragonfly is about to take flight! More dodging, less catching. Hey, watch what you're doing.
This new flyer seems nicer than the one we took from Gao the Lesser. Although, I'm really only judging by how shiny it is. A poor guess, I'm sure.
No, no. The marvelous dragonfly is superior to the amber mosquitoes I foisted on Gao. And actually, the shinier the better. The heavens like their glory reflected. A shame I can't leave it on the ground for all to see, but I'm not going through all this just to have it stripped to the frame by local brats. I'll call it back if we need it. I will return it whenever you wish to make use of it, don't worry. It is just simpler to have it out of the way when not in use.
Is there anything you need? I'll do whatever I can to help. I am trying to feel good about what happened at Gao's fortress, the lair of his pirates. We went looking for our master and perhaps another flyer. What we found, I was not prepared for how cruel people could be. Seeing those people with no control over their fates, it is similar to a pain in my past that I have not thought about for a long time. I would not dream of saying my experience is similar to those poor people in Gao's fortress, but that lack of control, I know that well. One of the only things I know about myself is that on the morning I was born, the sky was red, like distant mountains were on fire. Perhaps it was dirge burning, as Zhu said. I believe it was an ill omen, and that stigma is why my abilities became a burden. That's why I must have been left at the school. To be subject to the whims of someone else just because of what you are, be you slave or outsider. Yes, I know that well. Are people to be blamed for the pain that others cause them? What if they had no ability to affect their lot in life? I was born under an ominous sign. When I started seeing things, it must have confirmed the superstitions people had formed about me. Was I weak? Was my eventual shunning my own fault? Were these slaves at fault because someone else locked them away? You are infuriating. You claim that I could not possibly know a similar pain unless I too was made a slave? You'd better hope not, or you won't be able to fathom what is wrong with the restless spirits until you are dead yourself. I am through speaking for now. I'm sorry I brought it up. Be well, my friend.
What? Wang said something about a screwable power horse. You should get that, then maybe we can get going.
Kang! It's Kang, not Wang! And it's an inscrutable power source, you dumb ox!
Whatever. Just get that thing he said. Meh.
Something's on your mind? Of course, I was just thinking about things. Gao richly deserved his death, but I'm not sure I ever really expected it to happen. Three years. 3 long years of tracing these slavers to their master, only to find that there were more above him. I also found a strong ally, but I'm not sure if the greater consolation lies in your ability, determination, or beauty. I look forward to finding out. Of course, I wouldn't dream of breaking you down into components. Treating people like commodities was Gao's business, not mine. Gao's slavers took my daughter, Pin Mei, and I was able to follow them. Fortunately, they didn't cover their tracks. I chased them down, trying to reach her. I was too late. Pin May was spirited, and I'm sure she fought them. I believe they decided she was too much trouble and killed her. 5 years old, and they ran her through. I found her dead by the roadside and stopped my pursuit. By the time I cared to continue my chase, the slavers were long gone. Is that what you're doing, chasing after your master without a thought for the others in your town? Yes, I've heard about the attack. I'm sorry, that wasn't fair. You're right, I could have saved myself 3 years if I just run those bastards down. But why dwell on this? Gao is dead, and perhaps Pin May has found some peace. That's what really matters. That and what we still have to accomplish. We'll talk about Gao later. We have much to do, and none of it'll be accomplished if we stand here hashing over the past. I only spent enough time in Tian's Landing to learn the location of Gao the Greater's stronghold. It's a nice enough place, though they're still adjusting to the flooding of the old town some years ago. We were talking about Gao earlier, but now isn't really the time to finish that conversation. Give me a bit to digest what's happened, and then I promise to regale you with the story of how I found him. Always happy to help.
Yes? I've said enough for the time being. I don't know what else I can do for you right now. Goodbye, then.
Prosperous tidings. What can humble Ho do to assist you today? It would seem we have our work cut out for us. I can almost hear her screaming at me now. Like many things in my life, it can be traced back to very bad luck on my part. As I mentioned once before, I was a master of the drunken master style. I was the tournament champion in Phoenix Gate when things spun out of control. My need for wine took its toll on my body. There are long periods I don't even remember. After one such period, I came to, having lost most of my clothes and all my money. I was destitute, and without the ability to buy more wine, I couldn't even fight. Eventually, I found work cleaning out creature cages at the local arena. One day, I was approached by a man who remembered seeing me fight. He offered to sponsor me. Just like that, I was back in the ring. After climbing my way back to the top of the tournament, my sponsor told me it was time to fulfill my end of the bargain. Apparently, the agreement stipulated that I must marry his niece. If only I had read the agreement more closely, I could still be shoveling dirt in the creature cages. Alas, fate had a crueler path in mind for me. Let that be a lesson for you. Always read the fine print, or you may end up with more than you bargained for. It would seem we have our work cut out for us. I can almost... Perhaps in a little while. Memories of my wife are difficult to bear, especially when she is so very far away and I may never see her again. As you wish.
That's good wine you've got here, Ho. Not too sweet, not too sour, and it has a good kick to it.
I'm pleased you like it, though I'm afraid you like it a little bit too much. At this rate, we'll run out of wine before we get back to the Imperial City.
I hope you're joking, Ho. You don't want to see me when I'm sober. You really don't.
I have an ointment you should try. Put it under your tongue, and it will stop your desire for alcohol. Well, more like replace. More? Well, I suppose I hadn't thought about that. Let's see. Distillation, crop variation, slide to 3.
Too long or too stupid, I'm not sure which. Besides, why would I want to do that? That'd be like taking away my urge to piss. What's the good in that?
What do you want, Sky? You're watching me very closely and not with the eyes of a friend.
Nothing. I just wanted to know what it felt like to work for Death's Hand. That's right, isn't it? You're one of them?
I was. Do you seek an apology for their actions, or am I just the latest target in your search for vengeance? I have to disappoint you. I will not accept either role. That is probably the wisest course to take. A lonely one, but it will keep you safe.
Something's on your mind? Yes, I'd welcome the chance. I never really answered your question about how I tracked Gao down. It's not that bad a story if you still want to hear it. I lost the men who murdered my daughter, but there are other ways to track men besides following their footprints, something I know all too well. 8 years ago, when my wife passed away giving birth to Pin Mei, I decided to settle down. Before that, my life was less stable. Curses, you've uncovered my secret. Actually, the truth isn't far off. My wife and I met because we both operated outside the law. Not every girl likes pompous nobles or stuffy scholars. She and I saw eye to eye on many things, including living life to the fullest. You remind me of her. Though she was flighty where you're intense, and she fought with nothing approaching your skill, you also don't burgle people's houses. I called in a lot of favors tracking down Gao, but you never know. As I followed the trail of various slave trading rings, I started seeing connections. Strangely enough, all of them seemed tied to the Lotus assassins. My question is, since it's so clear Gao is connected to the assassins, could their order have similar associations with the whole slave market? Of course, I didn't know about the direct connection at the time, but I did find some tenuous links to Gao the Greater. By approaching it from the top down, assassins to Gao to slavers, I managed to piece together his involvement and learn the location of his base. I don't have the answer to that, though I'd very much like to know if they support these slavers. My home was not far from Tian's Landing, so I'm certain that it was Gao's men who took my daughter. Meeting you and being given this chance to take the fight higher, I'm glad I chased that bastard down. I know. There's some peace in Gao's death, but not enough. People are still being taken as slaves, and much worse happening in this empire. I won't forget that. Always happy to help. My blades are yours to command. The equipment you carry with you, Kang, it seems quite expensive. Have a stash of silver somewhere, do you?
That's enough of that. I know a look of larceny when I see one. Besides, it will do you no good. With Gao gone, I am between benefactors.
Don't tell him anything. I know your kind Sky, pilfering things from honest men, inciting the wrath of their wives. Sure, you help us now, but what chaos will you bring?
Money is only good for spending, and I let it flow as freely as Gao would allow. He and his allies had extensive resources.
And once we've satisfied our primary goals, hopefully we'll be able to take advantage of that. Something's on your mind? Always happy to help.
Is there anything you need? No, I didn't have anything pressing on my mind. Be well, my friend.
The marks of the Lotus Assassins. You have covered some zoo, but left others plain.
I'm not ashamed of what I was. I disagree with what they became. Do even you judge me, Kang? You serve the enemy as well.
No, I served my craft. I must build what I must build. If others misuse my creations, it isn't my concern.
And Gao the Greater would not have been as powerful as he was. It doesn't matter to me, but there are consequences to every action.
Is there anything you need? I will answer what I can. Zoo made it quite clear what we must do. We need a wind map, and we need a flyer. The longer we take, the farther away Master Li gets. I do not like the area around this place, or maybe I just feel this way. Be well.
You have managed to survive. I suppose someone of your skill cannot be easily dissuaded. Not quite yet. There is much you do not know, and I may yet enlighten you, for a price. You may call me Silk Fox. I apologize for my previous aggression, but I thought you were in league with an enemy of mine. I was clearly mistaken. Powerful forces are at work here. You are caught in great events that are beyond you. But I may have use for someone as impetuous as you. I want nothing more than for you to continue your journey. You seek the old man who was taken from Two Rivers, correct? Of course you do. He was taken by Death's hand. I could tell you where his minions have gone. For a price. I've underestimated you once. I will not do so again. Attack me here and the local guards will have you in a noose. What I ask is very reasonable. Information for information. Tell me who he is. No idea? I saw your concern over the destruction of the village. Do not think to fool me. I will let you maintain this deception for now, just to see where it leads. But we share an enemy in Death's Hand. For that reason, I will help you. When you reach the Imperial City, you will need a helping hand. Someone with influence and cunning. A friend of mine will meet you. Follow her instructions and you will be on your way toward your goal. Your discoveries will be intriguing. The old man in Death's Hand will still be out of your reach, but it is the best hope you have. I know that his alliance with the Lotus Assassins has reached its logical conclusion. He was a valuable ally to their order. You have done well. You nearly have everything to continue your quest for the old man, or your revenge on Death's Hand. My path takes me elsewhere. If you do reach the Imperial City, perhaps we will meet again. Stranger twists of fate have happened.